Do you know the type? Those typical young speculators staring frantically at their smartphones, analyzing colorful charts with wild lines, trying to outsmart the market. They draw triangles on price charts, trade with risky leverage, and chase the next 100x coin just so they can buy a Lamborghini tomorrow. That is the image the media likes to sell us, throwing everyone into the same pot. But anyone who has gone deeper down the rabbit hole knows Bitcoin is not crypto. Those are two completely different worlds. While the crypto casino is often just about greed, hype, and quick money, the genuine Bitcoiner ticks completely differently. He isn't a nervous gambler type, he's more of a stoic philosopher with a hardware wallet. He has developed habits and perspectives that often seem strange, extreme, or even boring to outsiders, but which make a whole lot of sense upon closer inspection. And quite incidentally, the Bitcoiner ends up making better returns than the crypto bros who are glued to the charts 24/7. Today I'm going to reveal 8 behaviors that are almost unique to Bitcoiners' habits that can enrich your own life, regardless of whether you own any Satoshis yourself or not. We're flipping the script today. Let's unveil the secret. Point number 1. And this is probably the superpower that confuses outsiders the most. They are immune to price fluctuations. Imagine your net worth drops by 20% in a single day. A normal investor starts hyperventilating. He calls his financial advisor. He panic sells. He can't sleep at night. A Bitcoiner, he doesn't even bat an eyelash. A new Bitcoiner might still panic when the price dips. But a veteran has developed emotional calluses thicker than the armor of a tank. While the financial news screams about a crash and proclaims the end of Bitcoin, you see Bitcoiners relaxed, smiling, and drinking coffee. They understand that volatility is the price you pay for performance. If you want the roller coaster ride to the top, you have to be able to stomach the loop-de-loops on the way down. This stoic calm is remarkable. They don't see red numbers, they see discounts. Oh, Bitcoin is on sale? I'll take some. This composure in stormy times helps them in personal crises too. But where does this unshakable self-confidence come from while everyone else is losing their minds? Simple, they don't believe the headlines anymore. This brings us directly to point number 2, they become suspicious researchers. There is a motto in the Bitcoin scene that goes, don't trust, verify. While most people consume the news, nod along, and accept everything as fact, Bitcoiners start digging. They are allergic to the word trust. Trust in banks? That didn't work out so well in 2008. Trust in politicians who say inflation is only transitory? Yeah, right. Once you understand how our monetary system works and how often the wool is pulled over our eyes, you can't turn off that critical gaze. Bitcoiners read the fine print. They want to see the source code, metaphorically speaking. They don't rely on the word of authorities in suits, they look for the mathematical or logical truth behind it. This often makes them exhausting dinner party guests because they don't just nod when someone talks nonsense. But it also makes them people who rarely get taken for a ride. And once you start digging deep and questioning things, you don't stop at money. You start asking yourself, if the monetary system is sick, what about our food? Point number 3, they place an almost religious focus on health. This might surprise you, but there is a huge overlap between Bitcoiners and people who optimize their diet and fitness. Why? Think logically. If you own money built for eternity and you plan on being wealthy in 20 or 30 years, you want to be fit enough to damn well enjoy it. It makes absolutely no sense to be the richest man in the graveyard. That's why many Bitcoiners return to ancestral diets, avoid processed industrial slop, and exercise regularly. They view their body just like their own Bitcoin node. It needs to be maintained to run robustly over the long term. Proof of work applies not just to the network, but to the gym as well. You can't print health like fiat money. You have to put in the work. But protecting this body and this wealth is something no one can do for you. There is no doctor and no bank to save you when push comes to shove. And that leads us to the hardest lesson of all. Number 4, they take radical personal responsibility. In our modern world, we are spoiled. There is customer support for everything. Forgot your password? Click reset. Card stolen? The bank handles it. The government will fix it. With Bitcoin, there is no one you can call. If you lose your private keys, you lose your fortune. Forever. That sounds terrifying to many, but for Bitcoiners, it is the ultimate form of freedom. They learn to take full responsibility for their actions. They know no one is coming to save me. This attitude strengthens character enormously. Someone who confidently manages their life savings on a hardware wallet walks taller in the real world too. He doesn't wait for someone to take his problems away. He solves them himself. And when you carry full responsibility for your money, you suddenly start to assess its true value very differently. Every euro you spend suddenly hurts. Point number 5, they calculate everything in opportunity costs. This is the point that changes daily life the most. For the average citizen, that new coffee mug costs 4 euros. A Bitcoiner sees it differently. He doesn't see the euro price. He sees the amount of satoshis he could buy for that amount today. And even worse, he calculates in his head what that amount of Bitcoin could be worth in purchasing power in 5 or 10 years. This mental shift is profound. Suddenly, that new gadget you don't actually need seems extremely expensive. Why? Because you know you are potentially giving up a future fortune for it. Bitcoiners don't just ask, "Can I afford this?" They ask, "Is it worth giving up my scarcest resource, my digital gold, for this?" This leads them to think twice before pulling out their card. You might think this makes them misers who have no fun in life and are pessimistic. But that is a huge misunderstanding. In truth, they are the most hopeful people you will meet. Number 6, they stop complaining about how bad the world is. In a time when many people look pessimistically into the future, fearing inflation, wars, climate change, and social division, Bitcoiners are often like a beacon of hope. Why? Because they believe they have found a solution to one of humanity's biggest problems: broken money. They are convinced that a fairer, decentralized monetary system can change global incentives for the positive. That wars are harder to finance if you can't print money. That saving becomes worthwhile again. This belief gives them enormous positive energy. They don't just bitch about the system at the pub, they are actively building a lifeboat. This optimism is contagious. They know we have a plan B. And it works. And because they know they have a bright future ahead of them, they feel no need to prove anything to anyone in the here and now. This brings us to number 7. They find joy in simplicity and minimalism. It seems paradoxical. Many Bitcoiners could statistically afford the Lambo and the Rolex, yet they often choose the opposite. This is called stealth wealth. Instead of showing off brand logos, they wear simple clothes. Instead of living in a penthouse, many remain grounded. Why is that? For one, security reasons. You don't want a target on your back. But much more important is the realization that material possessions are often just dead weight. Since they can carry their store of value digitally and unseizably in their heads or on a stick, physical status symbols lose their appeal. They don't have to prove to anyone who they are. They know it. They define their status not by what they show, but by the freedom they possess. But what is the fuel for all of this? What drives someone to forego luxury today, train hard, and live simply? It is a mental superpower that has almost gone extinct in our society. Number 8, they develop an extremely low time preference. This is the core of it all. In a world geared toward instant gratification, buy now, pay later, Bitcoiners swim against the current. They have learned to wait, because they understand that their money, unlike the euro, does not lose value long-term but gains purchasing power. It is easy for them to go without today. They forego the quick kick today to lead a freer, better life in the future. This patience is called low time preference, and once you've learned that, you apply it everywhere. In marriage, in raising children, in business. They plant trees under whose shade they might not sit for 20 years. They play the long game. And those who play the long game always win in the end, against those who only think as far as next weekend. As you can see, Bitcoin is about far more than digital coins on a screen. It is a school of life. It shapes your character. It teaches you patience, responsibility, and critical thinking. Maybe you recognize yourself in 1 or 2 points today, or maybe you're thinking, maybe I should take a closer look at this after all. And if you want to know how to start this path of responsibility without making the typical rookie mistakes, then make sure to watch the video I'm linking for you right here. We'll go into the details there.